Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful edition of the North Bank Summit. Here to discuss another nail-biting, horrendous watch from Saturday, but obviously still back on top of the table, and a massive, massive game coming up this week. Semi-finals, Champions League, yes again, 2 times in a row. First time we've done it in history. And then another league game on Saturday where hopefully we can go 6 points clear and then see what happens. And here to discuss that, as always, this is my regular little co-host, Robin to my Batman, if you will. Man of many talents. There he is, Mr. Liam Gardner.
Yeah, good evening, mate. Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Yeah, ready to discuss last weekend. And ready to discuss this weekend as well.
Yeah, it's all going on. And last but certainly not least, finest sex ball. There she is. G, how you doing?
Very good, thank you. Good to be on with you both. It's been a while since chatted to you, Brooksy. So yeah, so that the OGs are back together.
Has, yes. Absolutely, a real treat for everybody. And well, we might as well crack on. Saturday night, 5:30, Newcastle United at home. Now, a lot of people are saying, should be an easy 3 points on paper. Newcastle have really gone downhill. I mean, that's a different conversation, but you do wonder how long Eddie Howe's going to last. He doesn't look happy. He's changing his team a lot, so a little bit, Arsenal win comfortable. But Liam, as you and I know, and everyone else, Arsenal don't really do things the easy way, do they?
No, we don't win. We don't win comfortably, mate, whatsoever. And to be honest, I thought we'd win Saturday, and we did win. But I knew it'd be a tough game. If you look at the last few years with Newcastle at the Emirates, they've been pretty low-scoring games. So last year we won 1-0. We lost to Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final at home. Was it 2-0? It was 2-0, wasn't it? We lost at home.
It was 2-0. It was all
2-0. I remember a 0-0 draw in January when we was going for the league, one of the leagues. So, look, Newcastle's always been a low-scoring game in terms of games at the Emirates. So it shouldn't really come to much surprise. Actually, we only won the one game 1-0. And what I would say is that Newcastle are in really poor form, but they've still got quality players over the pitch. And when you look at their 2 centre midfielders, Bruno and Tonali, I'd probably take them in my midfield if I'm being totally honest. Not saying they'll get in each week, but what I'm saying is I think they've got their top quality centre midfielders. And we have to remember that Newcastle have blown hot and cold over the last couple of years, but when they blow hot, they've done really well. They've won the Carabao Cup. They've got into the Champions League 2 times in 4 years or 3 years, something like that. 2 times in 3 years. So they're not an easy team. Their position is probably just shows you that they're struggling for several reasons, and maybe Eddie Howe's time probably is coming to an end. I would have thought at Newcastle, maybe a bit of fresh direction, but they're not an easy team. They're defensively strong. You've got players like Dan Burn who just get in your skin a little bit, don't they? If we're being totally honest.
Dan Burn, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's the kind of players they've got. And I thought it was a banana skin on Saturday, and we got over the line, and it weren't comfortable. It weren't easy. I was nearly in tears at the full-time whistle because it just took every bit of emotion out of me. But we won the game. We did win the game at the end of it all. And yes, it hasn't answered many questions in terms of how's the next game going to be, and that because we haven't gone out and spanked the team, but we have got the 3 points. And for me at the moment, if we can get that 6-point advantage against Manchester City coming out of the Fulham game, which I'm going to throw in as well, is very, very tricky, this Fulham game, because of the quick turnaround in terms of coming out of the Metropolitan Stadium in Madrid on Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock at night, and then they've got to play a game pretty much just under 3 days later in the Premier League in what's going to be a massive game this season. And I'd like to discuss that a little bit more later. But it's such a quick turnaround that actually it's just important again on Saturday to get the 3 points. Yeah, of course we want the goals. Of course we want the goal difference. But first and foremost, get 6 points ahead against Man City. Mm-hmm. And I'll say one other thing to you guys is I remember going for a title and we had Southampton at home. Mm-hmm. And they got relegated. And we thought it was going to be a gimme. I turned up thinking it was going to be a gimme. and we was 2-0 down in the first 15 minutes. We went on to draw the game 3, scoring 2 late goals. We knew the season was over. So just remember them games, and just remember they were never easy. So just remember Saturday against Fulham, before anyone sits there and thinks, yeah, we're going to go and spank them by 3 or 4 goals. Stop thinking like that, because you're going to be disappointed. It's about the 3 points first and foremost. And if we do get the goals, then it's a big difference. But we just got to win games of football at the moment and see where we get to coming out of the West Ham game. And you don't know, mate. You don't know. Like, Man City have got to go to Everton on a Monday night. Man City now got to go to Bournemouth on a midweek night, because they've got to the FA Cup final. They're not easy games under the lights against 2 teams that have performed pretty well this year. So I just think it's about getting the 3 points yet again on Saturday. I just feel that everyone's expecting us to go and spank teams 3-4-0 straight away. And I don't want a Southampton situation where we open up straight away and find ourselves 2-0 down.
Yeah, no, yeah. Let's hope not. Yeah, let's hope not. But obviously, it was a fairly slow start Saturday, G. They had a couple of little openings. You know, Bruno smashed one over the bar. Asula nearly got in. But then it was on a case of 3 little short corners and third time lucky.
Yeah, and it looked like a corner routine that we're trying to change up a little bit, because what we have been doing for a while, going way too long with some of the balls, it just hasn't been working how we've had the success before, has it? So you could see they were trying to change things up a little bit. And obviously the first couple of goals didn't really work out, but third time lucky, an absolute rocket from our main man at the moment. Obviously the narrative as well was another set piece goal. I don't remember it going straight from the corner to Eze's foot. But, you know, love it. Bring it all on, because obviously he's the type of guy to soak it all up. And his interview afterwards as well was brilliant. Just kind of saying, yeah, I don't feel it. Don't feel it. It's pressure from you, not from me. And his cheekiness he has when he celebrates as well. And you just think, actually, a character like him coming in to that dressing room to be like, yeah, I just scored a worldie. And what? Let's go again. Rather than, you can see he's kind of just embracing it, which is probably quite refreshing for the lads around him that are a little bit tense at times as well. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to win 1-0, what a way to win with that boot, hey?
It's brilliant. No, I mean, he very nearly did it in the Man City game, obviously.
Yeah.
It was like millimetres away. 9 times out of 10, that hits the inside of the post and goes in. So he's certainly got his shooting boots on. And as you said, G, in his interview, I mean, everyone's making such a big thing in the pressure. And obviously everyone's feeling the pressure. But Liam, he just seems so chilled out. You know, hopefully that feeds on everyone else. Because some of the players, you know, you look at someone like Gabriel and he's always like, you know, and Declan Rice, just chill out. We won. Move on. We've got the 3 points. And as you said earlier, that is all that matters at the moment. I mean, someone said, would you take 5 1-0 wins? I said, yeah, absolutely, because we've won every game. But all we can do is keep winning. You know, Eze is the main man. Obviously, he went off injured, but he was walking around the pitch and did his interview. He said he was fine. He said it was just a precautionary thing. So you lot, I think he'll be fine carrying on. He said that is a little bit of a worry, because some of the players doing it knackered and, you know, carrying knocks. And it's got to be managed very well, which is going to be very difficult in the next few weeks, because every game's massive. But obviously, we need him fit. And obviously, Saka coming back as well. I'm sure we'll mention later. Again, he's back. We just need to wrap certain players in cotton wool and pray to God that no one gets an injury.
Yeah, I just want to quickly go on about that Eze goal. And if you're a fan that booed a set piece after 5-6 minutes of the game, do you know what? Give your ticket up. Just give your ticket up and give it to someone who wants to go to a game and trust what's going to happen on the pitch. Like, you're an absolute disgrace. You're an absolute disgrace if you booed in that moment when your club is going in for a title running. Yeah, it was never going to be easy. It was never easy in '89. Like when we drew against Wimbledon and lost to Derby. Do you know what I mean? When we only needed to win them games to win the league. But if you booed after 5 to 10 minutes because actually they didn't fulfil your needs in taking a proper corner kick, then you need to give your head wobble and decide whether actually football's for you, because I actually think that's an absolute disgrace. I absolutely think that if I was a player hearing that, I think, why the fuck am I putting my passion into all this when we're getting booed by our own fan base? I just can't get my head around it, mate. I literally can't get my head around it. Yeah, it's tense. Yeah, it's awful at times. Yeah, we all come out of the stadium, or we come out watching the game on our TVs, absolutely drained and exhausted. But Jesus Christ, back the players to the end. Like, until it's over, it's not over. And I don't get this projective that Man City have already won the league. I just don't get it whatsoever. They've got the harder running than us. We've got the absolute luxury that we can. We've got 2 games before they play next in the league, so we can put the pressure on them. What do you know what I mean? But the worrying thing for me is it's not just 1 or 2 people booing, is it? Because it was heard. If it's 1 or 2 people booing, then it's not heard. So we've got a selection of numpties in our fan base here, right? And I just don't get it. Like, just give your ticket up. Just give it to someone who wants to be there. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not helping the players. You're not helping the coaching team. Yeah, you might not agree with some of the tactics. You might not agree with the playing style. But at the end of the day, you're a supporter for whatever. You're a supporter for a reason. Because you're not good enough to coach them. End of story. End of story. You're not good enough to coach them. Do you know what I mean? And rest behold, what happened, like G said, set piece, straight into Havertz, as a goal. So I'd rather trust a geezer like who's actually sorted us so many set pieces out this year. And what I will say on that as well, which really gets my go up, is if you had any football intelligence, you'd have known why they were doing that. Newcastle are a physical team. We obviously didn't fancy putting the ball in the box because actually Newcastle are good at defending set pieces.
And their height.
Pardon?
Their height as well. They're a tall team, so there's factors.
Exactly. And it was apparent after the first set piece what was going to happen. I was quite comfortable with that. Because actually, do you know what? We weren't going to score a goal against them, whacking the corner in like that. And we actually won the game by scoring a goal in that manner. And like, as you said, what an incredible strike by EZE. And I will go on it to him a little bit if you don't mind, because I know, G, obviously, me and you had a lot of conversations before we come that this was the guy. He's took a lot of flack. He got dropped by Arteta at the end of last year, and he didn't come on for quite a while. And I don't agree. I didn't agree with that whatsoever. But do you know what? I remember going out in February and saying, like, you need to back this player because he will come good. He will come good. He's got all the ingredients to come good. He's got the proof in the pudding, what he delivers at the back end of seasons for his previous club. That probably have got lesser players around him than what we fortunately got. And my God, like, if you didn't think the goal against Mansfield was good, then he went one better, didn't he? And then whacked that goal in against Leverkusen. And look, that's obviously his standout goal. He's absolutely brilliant goals against Spurs. But what a goal that was on Saturday. And what I will say about that as well is, and it's really unfortunately went off injured. I actually can't remember the last time a left winger scored for us in the Premier League. So keep this guy out there, because actually with Hincapié at left back, who's fucking phenomenal, by the way.
He's brilliant on Saturday. Brilliant.
Right. Hincapié is solid enough to be able to cope with that. Now, if Calafiori plays left back, I don't really trust that actually him and EZE will combine well together, because Calafiori likes to go for a bit of a wander, we know, and maybe he's a bit of a maverick at left back, and you can't have 2 mavericks on one side. So I think Hincapié is an absolute perfect player for EZE, and it gives Arteta the option, as we see against Man City, for EZE to come into the middle a lot more. And I think we saw that a little bit of Trossard, especially in the Champions League quarter-final. Sorry, not the quarter-final, the second round game against who was it that we played? The German team, Leverkusen. I see Trossard coming a lot, and I was liking that a little bit, but I was thinking to myself, imagine if that was EZE, because EZE's got the ability to hit goals like he's hitting goals, and he's not just doing it on a one-off, he's doing it on loads of occasions, and he's absolutely dangerous. If you get him 20 to 25 yards from goal and you can get him to have a clear strike, he's absolutely dangerous. And I actually do think with Saka returning, I think that will give EZE and Saka a lot more license, where one's on one side and one's on the other, because actually they've got someone to fear now on that left-hand side, because you can't leave EZE clear whatsoever, because you leave him clear 15, 20, 25 yards from goal, you're likely to see the ball in the top corner. So I think that's massive in terms of getting Odegaard fit, because it has released Eze to go on that left-hand side. And I did like what I've seen in terms of Eze over the last 2 weeks. Not naturally for his attributes, but in playing left wing, but what he does in terms of him revolving into that midfield and getting himself into them areas. And I think they're absolutely key. And you just got to stick with this guy, because I actually think at the moment he's our best attacking player. He's our best attacking player by far at the moment, because he's got all the attributes to make a difference. And this is what we're going to need over the next 4 to 5 games. So if you want him to be like that, back him, don't boo him, and don't boo the team, because actually, like, we need these players to get us over the line. And if they get us over the line, we're going to have a bloody good summer. So, yeah, I feel with him that he's in a good moment, and hopefully that injury is just pretty slight, if we're being totally honest here. But I just felt that on Saturday it was, like you said, just get the win and get out there. And look, you can only put points on the board. That's what's going to win you the title. We won't know until the very last game of the season whether we needed to beat Newcastle 4-0, whether we needed to beat Newcastle 1-0. We might look back on this game and think, do you know what, that was the game that got us over the line. But you're not going to know till January the 12th, January. You're not going to know till May the 24th.
Yeah.
You're not going to know. So, do you know what I mean? And look, we've got Burnley coming up, which, look, it's in all due fairness, yeah, right? Burnley are going to be relegated at that point. We potentially
They are relegated.
They are now.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Mm.
Crystal Palace that potentially could be in a Conference League final 3 days later. So
fingers
crossed Palace beat Shakhtar the next. And look, I want them to beat them, because like, I think
they will. They've beaten them already in this competition.
And I do think with Palace, they've got a story with Europa League. Do you know what I mean? They should be in that tournament. So obviously, I believe that everyone will want them to win that. So them having that game 3 days before a Conference League final, they're not going to be interested, because they're going to be thinking about the big moment of winning that Conference League trophy. So I just believe, like, the next 3 games, well, the next 2 games now, like the Fulham game and the West Ham game, it's just about getting the wins. And then we'll see where we are at that point with Man City, and whether we do need to proper open up and start going for goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, on that note with the booing, if anyone's you know what anymore, then feel free to give me or G a message, and we'll quite happily go. It's fine. Problem solved. Yeah, I won't boo unless we're losing 5-0 at home. Then I'll go mad. But you know, all good. So you've mentioned him already, Liam, but G, I want to mention him again, because I think, well, he's been phenomenal all season. Piero and Capier, I just think he's brilliant. I just think up and down, you know, he carries on like that. I can see him playing fullback for a long time. He just gives his all the time. He just gets stuck in. He likes getting forward. And that's and he knows how to win a league as well, which is so important, because we haven't got many of those. And I just think, I just thought he was great again Saturday.
Yeah, he's an absolute engine, isn't he? Even when you can see when the camera zooms in on him, and he's like huffing and puffing, but he isn't then going and being laid back and jogging around. He's still going full force up and down the wing, which is something that you just don't see. The game has sort of slowed those kind of players out, haven't they, to be a bit more, let's pass it around and piss around with the ball. Whereas he's like, do you know what? My head's up and I'm running. And he'll go as far as he possibly can as well. He's not looking to go, I'll pass and then I'll slow down. He's like, right, I'll carry it myself then. And he takes people on. He gets stuck in. I think we've only seen maybe the one game. It was the cup final where he was getting dragged around. But I mean, they all kind of were that day, weren't they? So that was an experience, and I think he's only got better since then as well. Whereas it could have gone another way to be like, head's gone, I was hooked, not very good game. But he's actually just come into his own. We were so desperate for him to come back, whereas, in the summer, no one really knew who he was. So, but he's one of the, arguably, you'd say, the starter now.
That's it.
It's just what he brings, and it's refreshing. And obviously, hopefully in the summer they'll make it permanent. Of course.
I think it's more.
How could you not? At this
did
point?
that a while ago. I think that's more or less sorted out. But obviously, he is now the Mr. Reliable fullback, Liam. Obviously, Ben White's had a few, come on, but Miles Kelly's just fallen off a cliff. Calafiori is injured all the time, and you can't move along. Timber, no one seems to know how long he's going to be out for. You can say, he might be back, but no one knows. I think Calafiori he wasn't available Saturday, but I think he should be available this week. But Nkapie's there, and he's, getting on with it.
He's unbelievable. Honestly, he's unbelievable. Like, you watch that last corner kick, that last free kick that goes in. Who's there? Nkapie. He's always in there for the last ditch block, last pitch tackle, the header, mate. Like, this guy could easily play like in Gabriel's role at centre back. If it, like, to be fair, not saying that he's better than Gabriel, but he can easily play there, and I'll be comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like, the geezer is absolutely top class. I watched him come off against Sporting Lisbon, which was another game there. Was a very frustrating game of football. But I watched him, mate, and I was just like, this geezer's up and down, up and down, up and down. And like, his engine is unbelievable. And he's the kind of player, right, that will end up he will be a folk hero for this team. Like, you look at players, yeah, right, that you in years gone by, and you always remember them because their attributes and what they give to the team and how solid they are. Do you know what I mean? And he's going to be one of them that people are going to love for years and years, because I think he's going to be here for years and years. I reckon he's probably a loyal player, a very loyal player. He seems to love the Arteta style. And he seems to, like you see the other night, Arteta went straight up to him. So you can tell that Arteta really loves his contribution towards the team. And I just think moving forwards that he's another player that will just get better. Do you know what I mean? So when I look at players this year who come into the club, I actually look at EZE and I look at Nkapie, and I think they're going to be much better next year. I actually think Subamendi will be much better next year, but that's a totally different conversation. So like, these players have had to come in and like they've had to settle into a new team. I can imagine when you come into an Arteta team as well, from a tactical point of view, it's probably mind-boggling for these players when they first come in, and maybe that was the case for EZE a bit as well. Do you know what I mean? And maybe there was that piece where Arteta said, I needed to understand him more, and I think I'm starting to understand him. But I think Nkapie is going to be our left back for years and years to come. I just don't see who's going to dislodge him. I think he's much more reliable than Calafiori. I think when the ball gets put behind Calafiori, I worry, and I think he has that something in him that will get himself sent off in a crucial moment, if I'm being totally honest. And I just think that Nkapie, he's just very strong in terms of playing in front of the defender. He's very strong in playing behind the attacker. So if they do get past him, he's going to get back. Do you know what I mean? And I think there ain't really any competition. Like Lewis Skelly, he done a job there. I just want to say on Lewis Skelly, though, mate, that I actually thought he come on. It was good to see him come on Saturday and get him that trust. And do you know what? He played the ball forward. He played a ball into a player. And that's what we've lacked in that centre midfield at the moment, right? It's forward passes. And what happens when you have forward passes? They rip teams open. And you see in that little move, right, what could have been. So I thought he done pretty well when he come on Skelly, but I don't think he's going to be the long-term answer left back whatsoever. And whether he gets in at centre midfield is a very, very strong debate in the future. Do we cash in on him? I think there is potential that we could cash on him because it's basically homegrown money, and maybe Arteta will think, you know what, if I can get 50 million for him, that's going to free up the coffers for us to get some big players in next year. And it wouldn't surprise me if both him and Waneri did go out, if I'm being totally honest, because I just think at the moment that it's very hard for him to bring through all these young players, because the best young player about a lot of them is Max Dowman. And how many young players do you put in one team? You don't. No one does. So you're only going to gradually, if you're going for the Champions League and you're going for the Premier League year in, year out, you're not going to take many risks in terms of, do you know what, I'm going to play one area, I'm going to play Dowman, I'm going to play Skelly. It ain't going to happen. So it wouldn't surprise me, mate, if one area, if either or even both were sacrificed in the summer if they wanted to bring big money in for them both.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've definitely think one area will go. I mean, he's gone to Marseille, and I know they've changed manager, which is unfortunate for him, but he's not really playing over there either. And I think if you're that good, you would be playing, especially, no disrespect, but Marseille, you should we're sending a player over there on loan. He should be playing a lot more than he is.
Can I answer that?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Go on. I'll say no, but
yes, I think I would. I think I would, and I'll tell you the only reason why I think I would is that I don't think he's going to be happy in terms of playing a squad role long term. I do think he's got a lot of injuries, and what I don't want is for us to keep giving opportunity after opportunity, and then for him to be injured. I like him as a player. I really do like him, but I'm getting Tomiyasu vibes. I'm sorry, I'm getting Tomiyasu vibes, and like I just sit there and think, actually, do I see this player playing 40, 50 games for Arsenal? I don't. He hasn't played back-to-back Premier League games since December. And I tell you what did make me think as well. I see him dancing in the tunnel the other night after we beat in the Champions League game, and I'm like, oh, he must be coming back the next game. But he's not. And he's not. And you're like, mate, you can't be dancing around, do you know what I mean, if you're injured. But that's neither here or there, really. But I think if the money come up right, and I think if we could get a really, really suitable replacement, I would. What I would say is, though, he's a very good versatile player. So he can easily play centre-back and he can easily play left-back. I just don't think he's going to be happy because he's going to want to play for Italy. He's a young player who's got a lot of ambition, and I just don't think that he's going to be happy longer term sitting on the bench.
To be fair, I don't think there's any danger of Italy dropping him because they're literally dog shit at the moment.
Yeah, but he's got another 2 years to get to go to a tournament.
Yeah, true.
I think, more players will sell before him. I think if Lewis Skelly goes, Ben White goes, that's 2 defenders disappeared, fullbacks. I'd be surprised if he left, but you never know in football. I mean, we say win both trophies, we'll sell a couple. If we don't win anything, there could be a massive clear out because people will demand it. The likes of Trossard and Martinelli, Jesus. Yeah, there could be a lot, but obviously we don't know. So we win, and then no one's going to want to sell anybody. But looking ahead to obviously Wednesday, another massive game, G, away to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people are worried. I mean, it's weird. It's like I'm more scared in the league games than I am in the Champions League. I don't know if it's because we're unbeaten still or we're just a different team in Europe. But I'm fairly chilled out, which is probably a terrible sign. But, I mean, it will be tough over there. But let's remember, and I was there, we smashed them 4-0 at home. All 4 goals in the second half. And when you said earlier, Liam, about Lewis Skelly, a forward pass, I was straight away thinking of that forward pass and run he did to set up Martinelli. You know, I mean, they're not in the best form. They've lost the cup final on penalties to Sociedad last week. They lost to Elche, who were fighting relegation the other day. So it's probably not a bad time to play them, but you know they'll be well up for it. It'll be a full house and Simeone and we'll have them shit-housing from the first second. But, you know, they'll be thinking they need to score at least 1, if not 2, against us to have a chance because our home form is so good. But it's all to play for, then, bring it on.
Yeah, and I think as well, having the second leg at home is a nice change because the last couple of seasons we've been away, haven't we? And we've done the business at home and kind of got through it. But I think it's just that bit of confidence, isn't it? To be like, okay, if something went wrong, we've got the opportunity to fix it again when we're all in the stadium. But yeah, it has a potential though, doesn't it, to be a very boring, tactical, slow game because we're quite similar in that aspect. But yeah, I mean, and I think one of their, I don't know what he's called, but one of their players was off injured the other day, so they're worried that he might not be available.
Is that Pablo Barrios? He's out for about 6 weeks.
I think so. And so
good news.
We just have to kind of go out there and do what we've done so far this season. You know, obviously sport in a way wasn't the best to watch, but like we've said all night, getting the job done is the most important thing. Even if you come away with a 1-0 lead or, you know, if it's 1 or something, to bring it back home to get the job done, then that's the good thing at this point, isn't it? There's still that second game that you have while we're still managing everything else in the Premier League. But I agree with you. I'm way more. Obviously, I feel more excited about the Champions League because it's just refreshing, isn't it? Like we're not used to seeing us play. I know we already have, but you don't see it as often as you see like the Premier League players all the time and watching so many games that we do. And there's just so much more pressure on the Premier League than there is on the Champions League externally, and probably on ourselves. But when it just comes to the weekend, you're like, please just do this, get it done. Whereas we kind of have a bit more freedom in the Champions League because we've done so well, like you said, throughout the whole competition this year. And the positivities there, we kind of play differently because other teams set up differently, ready for an actual game rather than a low block. So we just have a bit more freedom, I think, in those games. But yeah, I mean, it gets to the point now where we're happy for that one, like Saturday, great, buzzing. But I already want it to be Wednesday because you just want we want to be on the pitch again, don't we? It's the in-between at this stage of the season where you're just like, oh my God, please, because it just starts building up. I don't know if it does the same, but it's like, come on. Hopefully Wednesday comes, get that done, then we already know, focus back on to the weekend. Yeah, obviously Fulham hasn't been the best fixture either for us for a little while. They're on a bit of they won at the weekend, didn't they? So, but on another term, they haven't really got anything to play for. They're not chasing really. So it's like, although they are in a good form, we do have something to play for. So that should be motivation enough for us to switch off from the in-betweens of the Champions League games.
I've heard a good authority that Alex Iwobi's going to score a hat-trick of own goals on Saturday, so we should be okay. And then it's going to let Smith Rowe. And if he doesn't, Smith Rowe, yeah, exactly, yeah. They'll look after us. Obviously, Liam, Atletico Madrid are a very good side. I mean, Alvarez, who we have been very strongly linked with, has had a very good season. Obviously, they knocked out Barcelona in the last round. I mean, yeah, they've got Griezmann, they've got Sorloth. They're a good side. They're a good side, but so are we. So how do you think Simeone's going to play it? Because obviously, as I've said, we're at home. The advantage, if you will, it's so much nicer to have the home leg second. But, Simeone knows what he's doing. I mean, is he just going to wind us up? And will he not bother, 0-0 going to our place? Because then all the pressure obviously goes straight onto us. Because, the home team technically should be doing more of the attacking. It's going to be very cat and mouse.
I think you're going to be quite pleasantly surprised. I don't think it's going to be as defensive as you think it's going to be. And I think that the game at Atletico Madrid's got all the attributes to have goals in it. I really, really do. If you look at Atletico Madrid's form, it's not good. They lost the other week to Elche, didn't they? 3-2.
Yes,
Then they won 3-2 at the weekend. So, yeah, they're good at scoring goals, but they're also very much they can see goals as well. I think because obviously it's Simone and because it's Arteta, everyone's just put 2 and 2 together and thought, you know what, we're going to get this really ball fest of defensive football. But I'm not really sure that is the case. What I would say in terms of Barcelona getting knocked out, I actually thought the better team over the two legs went out. Barcelona destroyed them in both games.
Yeah, it's just silly sending off, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was their own ill discipline, mate, that cost them. If they don't get the red cards in both them games, mate, we ain't talking about Atletico Madrid here tonight. Sorry, we're not talking about Atletico Madrid. And I, for one, are absolutely delighted that we don't have to play Barcelona.
Because Yamal's now injured.
Well, yeah, that probably is the only problem, isn't it, when you think about it. But, yeah, that probably is the only problem. But I am quite glad that we're not playing now for Barcelona, if I'm being totally honest, because I just think that sometimes when you get a team like that over two legs, that sometimes, especially when the fatigue's kicking in as it is with a team at the moment, that it could have been seen more daunting, like having to chase the likes of, at the time you'd have thought Yamal, Rafinha, do you know what I mean? They've got some really, really good midfield players. Yeah, they do play the high press, so we could have exploited that. But I honestly thought that Barcelona were a much better team, and like Alvarez showed his brilliance in that tie in terms of the free kick that he scored. So you've got to watch out with that, and you've got to mind out what we're giving them and all that. But come on, this is a semi-final of the Champions League. We got here last year and we got knocked out by the potential rightful winners who are absolutely incredible at the Emirates. But this Atletico Madrid are nowhere near Paris Saint-Germain. And we took the game to Paris Saint-Germain in PSG. Like, if you remember rightly, me and you in the bar that night, weren't we, John?
We were, mate, we were.
For the first 15 minutes, we absolutely destroyed them in Paris. We absolutely destroyed them.
Wonder saves,
Yeah. And let's be honest, Donnarumma won them that tie overall.
Yeah.
Like, both at the Emirates and in Paris. He was just absolutely unbelievable, as we know he can be. So I look at this tie and I think we've got all the attributes to go there and win on Wednesday. I really do. That would be an incredible result. I think we could get a draw. If we lost 2-1, 1-0, not overly devastated. Do you know what I mean? Whatsoever. The only problem is though, like I don't really want to be coming back home with a 2-1 because then Simone will try and shit house the stink the stadium out. So we don't want that to happen. But I do think that we've got a really good opportunity going over there, and I think that Atletico are going to want to put their mark on the game. So I don't think they're going to be as defensive. And it might remind me of the Milan game a little bit, if I'm being totally honest. We went over to Milan in January. Like, everyone thought that game, like, we're going to go there, we're probably going to lose 1-2-0. We put in a really good performance that night. We put a really, really good performance that night. Saka's fresh. He hasn't played football. Like, he's likely to start on Wednesday. That's a big, big plus.
Massive, absolutely massive.
It was chalk and cheese when Madawaki went off and he come on, mate. Like, you just see the difference, the brilliance already, like, with that man on that side of the wing.
Everyone just giving the ball as well. Everyone straight away was passing the ball. As soon as he's on the pitch, straight away, bang.
There's a reason why he's star boy, mate. Do you know what I mean? Look, we've all given him stick some at points this season because he hasn't been as great, but his stats don't lie. His stats still sit well, considering that he's had a lot of time out. So I'm confident. Like, that Barros injury is a massive blow to them. I know Lookman was injured. Not sure if he'll be back. But again, Lookman's a good player. But, like, let's be honest, he ain't no Rafinha, he ain't no Yamal. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, you're not.
The biggest thing we need is Timber back, if I'm being totally honest. And I don't know what's going on with him.
No one seems to know, do they? It's just like a big hush secret. I mean, it can't be that bad. If you think the likes of, obviously, it's a different injury, but Xavi Simons got injured the other day straight away. Yep, I'm out for like 7-8 months, missing the World Cup. But Timber, he's been missing for quite a while now. And it's like, he's still out. But no one's really said what's actually wrong with him. It's similar to like Saka. He had some sort of, he was feeling uncomfortable in his leg or something. What's that? I mean, but there seems to be no time frame. It's like, I presume he's coming back. I mean, you would have thought, if he was going to miss the World Cup, they would have said, he's out for a few months. But, no one seems to know. It's just...
What's weird is, like, for the City game, in the conference, Arteta was basically saying, Timber's basically there. But Saka has no chance. And then a week later, Timber's still nowhere to be seen and Saka's back on the bench and playing. It's like, hang on a minute.
I do wonder with Timber whether we are just waiting for the right moment. I do wonder. And like,
well, they need to be quick about it.
You ain't got much time left.
Look, I think look, we do need to be quick, but maybe he might return, like, for this Atletico Madrid game. Maybe it was that actually. Do you know what? I think we can get over the line with Ben White and Newcastle. It's a risk. It's always a risk, but I'm going to throw that little grenade in now to you, right? And it's the right time. So we got, as I said to you, right, we've got 2 games in 3 days. Where do you see any rotation? Because I think Arteta's got to take a risk somewhere. I think Arteta's got to take a risk, whether it's the Champions League first leg game, or whether it's the Fulham game. I think he might have to take a calculated risk, because the concern is, right, I don't want to pick up any more injuries.
No.
And fatigue's going to be a big, big thing. So do we maybe rotate it slightly Wednesday into Saturday? Because we've got to play Madrid game on the Tuesday.
I think he'll do the opposite. I think he'll go stronger in this and maybe rest a few Saturday in the thinking that we've only got 2 games in the Champions League to get to the final, but 5 more league games. And God forbid anything did go wrong against Fulham, there's still a little bit of time to hopefully sort that out. But I do think that he'll go proper strong on Wednesday, as he should, because God forbid if he mucks this game up and we lose 2-3-0 because he's made changes, their pressure then again, not even going into that game, the Fulham game would be ridiculous. Because if it arse or bottled it again, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, he's got to be very clever. But obviously, Havertz coming off injured, and they're saying it's not as bad as they thought. But again, no one saying nothing. So it looks like Victor will start up front, which I'm pleased with, because he will harass them. And we need him, if they're going to do a high line, ping the ball forward to him and let him run. But I'll be amazed if he made too many changes. And I know what you're saying, Rice and Zubimendi are both fucked. Let's be honest, they're both knackered. Norgard should have played so many more games and give one of them a rest. Whether he does that on Saturday, I don't know. I don't see why he wouldn't play Norgard at home to Fulham, to be honest, and give one of them a rest with Zubimendi, because he is knackered.
That would make sense.
Rice will carry on because that's the player he is, but Zubimendi, Premier League to Spain is completely different. It's so much more physical over here and quicker. And you could tell he's trying to... Go on, you love it. Throw another one. Go on.
People are going to laugh at me.
No, surely not.
People are going to laugh at me, yeah, right. But I look at Inter Milan performance, and I know it was late in the group stage, but Inter Milan was still playing to try and get as far up as they could. So let's not dismiss how good of a result that was, yeah, right, that night. Gabriel Jesus in Europe is a different animal to Gabriel Jesus in the Premier League. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to start, but is there potential for that rotation piece with him there? I don't think he lets you down in Europe whatsoever. He lets you down in the Premier League, but he never lets you down. He never lets you down in Europe. And all his best performances for Arsenal have been in Europe. Remember we went to, was it Seville last year?
Yeah, I was just about to say that he done well.
He was fucking unbelievable. In Milan, mate, he scored a goal and
set up another one.
He was really good. So I am intrigued, yeah, right, and I do think a little bit, yeah, right, that actually the way we play in Europe, away in Europe, and the way we're set up, and the way we kind of counteract teams, and I do like us in Europe. I'll be honest, away fans. I think we're structured so well in Europe to do really well. I think he's a menace. I'm not saying he's going to start, but do you know what I mean? Like, I think there's consideration to throw his hat in there.
So would you have him up front or on the wing?
No, it'd be up front. Like, to be fair, like, obviously you want Gyökeres to start, but I'll tell you what, even if he doesn't start him and he brings him after 60 minutes, I just think Jesus is a different animal in Europe, and I think he really does well. And do you know the other thing I was thinking about is, like, actually, what about if you finish the last 30 minutes of that game with, we'll go a bit old school, Saka, Martinelli and Jesus, because that worked. That front three did work. What everyone says, right, that front three did work. And later in games, yeah, right, when you need legs and you got tiring defenders, someone like Jesus or Martinelli coming on in the Champions League semi-final could work wonders. Like, we see what Martinelli did at the start of the season. That was out in Spain, wasn't it? Atletico, was it club? Yeah. Was it Bilbao we played? It was
Bilbao, that's right. Yeah, they come on.
Bilbao. Martinelli comes on.
Martinelli.
He wins the game. So Martinelli's pace is absolutely hated in Europe. Now, I heard that he done his hamstring, so I don't know how true that is, by the way.
Yeah.
But I just think that the Premier League, for me, is the bread and butter. So it's really, really tricky to decide where you're going to kind of rotate players and where you're going to do. Like, would I play Jesus against Fulham? Probably not, mate, because I just don't trust him. I don't trust him in the Premier League. But if you said to me, like, if he started up front on Wednesday, I wouldn't be absolutely destroyed about it either, because I'd sit there and think, do you know what, he'll probably turn up today because that's what he does in Europe. But, like, do you know what I mean? Like, for Victor, it's a big moment for him, because obviously Havertz got the starting role and Victor needs a goal. But for Victor to get a goal, he needs chances. And it's an absolute joke what Victor's having to do, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah? Like, the guy is literally isolated up there on his own, getting balls hoofed. And he got a lot of stick on Saturday again, but I sat there and thought, well, he should.
But he shouldn't have been in that position. He should be in the middle way.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, he should. And I do think, right, and it's not the referee's fault, by the way. First time you're going to hear that. It's not VAR's fault. It's not VAR's fault. It's the letter of the law that's the problem here, yeah, right? When he goes past Nick Pope, yeah, right, he's got one defender to beat, right? That defender can't catch the ball, can't save the ball, can't dive for the ball. But if that defender had brought him down and Pope was ahead of him, that defender gets sent off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the letter of the law is an absolute joke. And I'll tell you what you're going to get, yeah, right? And I can see it very clearly, right? They'll go back to this game and they'll change the law on that. They'll change the law on that. Should he have got sent off by the letter of the law? No. But it's an absolute joke of a ruling. Nick Pope should have been sent off in both the home game at Newcastle and he should have been sent off at the Emirates. So everyone giving Gyökeres crap. Like, to be fair, he could have got the goalkeeper sent off. But he's got no one. He's got literally no one up there with him. Like, there was one moment where he actually hunted the ball down, didn't he? And won the ball and got it back and played it back. And everyone was going mad. It was they're the kind of moments, right, where usually, right, you sit there, it's just like, when things ain't going right, a moment like that can change things in games. Do you know what I mean? It gets the fans going. And I thought, do you know what? Yeah, well done. He's done that. Then 2 minutes later, mate, he's up there on his own, isolated. And he's not that player. I'm sorry. He's not that player. Like you just said, he needs to be in the box with loads of players around him, feeding him. And he hasn't had that all season. Like, he scored 18 league goals, yeah, right? He scored more Premier League goals than anyone else since January 2026. But his XG is less than that. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So when you bring a forward in, because actually you're going to play to his strengths, because that guy's going to be the guy that's going to put the ball in the back of the net for you. He scored 18 times this year, and we don't play to his strengths whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So do I see a long-term future for Victor Gyökeres? Probably not, if I'm being totally honest. But he needs to score a goal again. But we're having this conversation all the time. He needs to score a goal again. And I feel away from home, he has more chances to score goals than at home. Like, I look at the West Ham game, and I think that's the kind of game where actually can make a difference. A bit like he did at Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? Because it'll become that game where actually West Ham need to win it, we need to win it. So everything's going to have to open up, and that will suit Gyökeres. But we're just not playing to his strengths whatsoever. And then I do sit there and think, actually, in Europe, like, are we going to play to his strengths? Probably not. Would we play to Jesus' strengths? Maybe a little bit more so, but I couldn't see Arteta dropping Gyökeres for Jesus at the moment, because I don't think he's got anything in the bank to say that he should start the game. But I do think that Jesus in Europe's a different animal. And even if you bring him on after 50, 60 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if he has an impact.
Now, we've talked about Saka and we've talked about Eze in the wing, maybe Jesus up front or Victor. Now, my worry is that the person who's actually going to play in the left wing is called Leonardo Trossard. And to be fair, he does like playing him in the European games. He does trust him a lot, and he tries and he does a bit of that. And he didn't play at all on Saturday. So my thinking is that he's completely fresh. I wouldn't be surprised if he started. As you said, Martinelli, there's a rumour going around that he did do something with his hamstring, but he seemed to be okay after the game. But yeah, I mean, it would make sense if Trossard did start on the wing and then Martinelli comes on later with his legs. But I do wonder, and if Eze is still precautionary, he could well be on the bench. I don't know. We don't know, but I do think he will go with Trossard.
Yeah,
whether that works or not, but he does trust him a lot. And yeah, he does. Away from home in the Champions League, he has got a decent record. It's just whether he can take his bench form into the starting role. But we say that of him and Martinelli all season. I mean, it's just an interesting one.
And this might be the piece of the rotation piece that we're talking about going into Europe. And
you could be right with Jesus as well, mate. He could well start him on Saturday and Wednesday. for an hour, and then bring on Victor, and then I don't know. Well, we don't actually know what's happening with Havertz. For all we know, he could be in the plane photos taken off to Madrid tomorrow. I mean, I don't think so, but not again. They've been very clever.
Havertz is fit. He plays that game.
Saying that, nothing. Yes, I think he does.
Yeah.
Like Havertz away from home is a different animal. Yet again, right. What I would say, Havertz at home is another player, right. It doesn't work. So we're all talking about Jesus in the Premier League to Jesus in the Champions League, chalk and cheese. It's like Havertz at Emirates to Havertz away from home. Havertz away from home absolutely suits everything that we want to do. Like if you look at that Man City game in the first half, actually the performance is there. I hate Jamie Carragher, right, but I watched him tonight and I agree totally what he said. He said he was more optimistic coming out of the Man City game than the Newcastle game with the performance. And that was what I was. And I put something on Twitter the other day, which got a few little nibbles for whatever reason. I don't really get why, but I'd rather Arsenal play away from home. All day long, I'd rather Arsenal play away from home in the Premier League at the moment than at home. Like the fear factor, just the nerves, that's not just in the players, it's in the whole stadium. The anxiety of everything, like what's gone on over the years. I totally get it. I do totally get it. I've been part of it. I understand why people are like that. I get like that in the stadium. Because it's hard. I do totally get it. So I'm not saying that I'm immune to it because it happens. And this is why I feel that actually when we go away from home, we got a really good hardcore of 3,000-4,000 fans that go away, that create a good atmosphere. And I feel the players are more confident with that because actually you've got the home team coming out a little bit more because they've got to come out because they're at home. It suits our style of play and we're a much better team away from home. And I think that we got more chance of banging in goals against West Ham than probably what we have for scoring up against Fulham, if I'm being totally honest. Exactly the same for Crystal Palace. But for that to work, you need Havertz up front, you need Odegaard doing the press, and you need Saka and Eze on the wings. Do you know what I mean? And that comes into your point, John, where actually Trossard playing on Wednesday night is actually quite a good shout because actually he didn't come on whatsoever. So then is Arteta thinking, do you know what? We'll leave Eze on the bench Wednesday night. Do you know what I mean? Because actually we want to go for a bit more of a structure in terms of being defensively solid as well. We'll leave Eze on the bench, maybe bring him on 60, 70 minutes in if needed, but we'll use Trossard for that game because actually we trust him. Eze gets a bit of a relaxing session. Do you know what I mean? Because actually we want you on Saturday, and he could be our go-to man on Saturday. I think it's going to be a big ask for Saka as well, 2 games. So that would be interesting how that gets managed. But you look at the 3 midfielders, you're not going to rest them, mate. I'm sorry, you're not going to rest them. And this is the problem. This is the biggest problem we've got. Norgard has played about 60 minutes worth of Premier League football for Arsenal Football Club. It's an absolute joke. And what happened was, right? Don't want to talk about the TP situation. Do you know what I mean? But what happened was that they were going to offer him the contract. Obviously, stuff's come out. They had to rip the contract up and say, look, we're not going to go ahead with it anymore. And they've just had to take a calculated guess, and actually, we're just going to bring Norgard in for a season. But it's shocking that a captain of Brentford Football Club got brought in, and he's only played 60 minutes of Premier League football. And this is my only piece of Arteta that I don't feel that he's still got it right in terms of the rotation. Do you know what I mean? Because Subamendi has been run into a ground. Like, you got to remember, this is a guy who's never played in the Premier League before, right? He looks absolutely battered on his feet. But there is no options. And it's quite interesting that actually he decided to bring Skelly on in front of Norgard the other day.
Yeah. There's been opportunities and he hasn't come on.
So it's not going to happen, is it? So them 3 players are literally going to have to play every part of this season now. Every part of this season, Odegaard, Subamendi and Rice are going to play. That's my big concern. That is my major concern because actually I think we could rotate the striker. I think we could rotate the right winger. I think we could rotate the left winger. Do you know what I mean? Gabriel and Saliba, they're not going to need to do that much running, so they don't need to do it. Like, we've got Yuri and Timber potentially coming back. We've got Ben White. They can rotate that. They can rotate the left-hand side when Calafiori comes back. But there's nothing in that centre midfield that he can do, mate. He can't do absolutely unless he takes Subamendi out, puts Declan Rice in the 6th role, and then decides to play 2 centre midfielders. There's rumour Mikel Merino might be returning. But yet again,
yeah, I've heard that.
This
He
is a
won't
big,
be
that'd be
fit enough,
amazing.
though, will he?
of course he won't. He hasn't played since January. So,
Yeah.
like, you're in a big running. Like, he might get 15, 20 minutes here and there.
Mm.
But yet again, we haven't got anyone to play in centre midfield. And look, you watched last night on Saturday night, Jay. Like, the 2 players at full time, Odegaard and Rice, they're on the floor.
Yeah.
Because them
Absolutely
2
gone.
players are trying to push us through. They're trying to push us through. But is there, and this is the big question, is there a breaking point?
Yeah, but they've already had it. I think, I think Declan Rice, he works so hard, but sometimes he tries so hard.
He's making the wrong decision.
Yeah, he's just wearing himself out mentally as well as physically.
Yeah.
Like I said, Super Mendy hasn't been managed well at all. Yeah, it's ridiculous that he hasn't played anybody. That's why I do think it's more or less guaranteed that I reckon Tonali is definitely coming to us. I mean, I've heard quite a few rumours, but I think I'll be amazed if either him or Elliot Anderson wasn't at the Arsenal next season. I'd be very surprised if Elliot Anderson even went to Man City, but obviously money talks, and what Forrest had done for him since his mum's passing, he may well stay there. But yeah, we'll definitely get someone else in. I mean, Norgard was probably Jorginho's replacement, but yeah, he should have played more. It's just that's the worry. I mean, yeah.
It's my only worry, honestly.
It is a worry. I mean, I'm glad Odegaard's back, and I think he looks like he's well up for it.
You'd be a big fan.
Yeah.
I do like him and always have. He's obviously frustrating. I'd love to see him score more goals and hit the form he hit a couple of years ago. But I think there's been things going beyond the season. I don't think we'll never know. But it just annoys me when fans are just quick to moan on the same players. Odegaard this and Saka this, and when they come back, when they're both fit, they're both so important to this side. I think they're the most important pieces because going forward, if we score goals, it's them to win the pitch. It's up this fair. I mean, go away, Sky. How can you even, just go away.
He knows what he's doing.
Listen,
he told me he was an Arsenal fan the other day anyway. He told me he was really an Arsenal fan. He'd always been an Arsenal fan.
My brother don't want to talk about football no more. It's amazing.
I bet he don't.
But,
how's Coveney?
But yeah, he's very quiet as well. Yeah, I missed him the other week, and he's I don't know if he's got he hates all the players enough. But yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like when Saka come on, Odegaard straight away, he's picking him the ball, he's having a shot. Saka's passing Odegaard the ball, he's having a crack. I just think if them two can stay fit, I just think it benefits us so much. Yeah, go on, so keep smiling, mate. You'll be a big Arsenal fan when we beat West Ham, wouldn't you?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so I am pleased Odegaard's come back. And I love him to score the winner in a big game and shut a few people up. But I don't care who scores, to be quite frank, as long as we keep winning. But yeah, they've just got to keep going. I mean, he should be, well, fingers crossed, because he's had so many injuries, he should be fairly fresh. And obviously he's going to take take a lot more of the workload off the other two. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Can we just talk about this? Because
yes, no, I didn't mean to go back to that because they've seen a few things. Arsenal could be playing on a Monday at home of Burnley in the last game. I don't know where that's come from, but I see that earlier. And this is what, honestly, if this does happen, then we might as well just give up and go home because the league are never going to do anything about Man City. I mean, I see something the other day to do with the FA Cup, obviously Man City and the Chelsea, all the charges they both had. You know, West Brom getting done the other day, getting 2 points deducted, straight away sorted out. Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday been absolutely screwed over. Forest, Everton, I could go on. And Man City just sitting there with 115 charges and, it's great, they got to the cup final. Let's hope they win the league. It's just, that's a shit. I
do find this interesting because I haven't heard it yet, right? Like, I know that everyone's talking about the Monday game, and I think that's a big possibility, if I'm being totally honest. Not happy about it whatsoever. Why would I be Monday night? Especially when you got to do a trip to Bristol Tuesday, but hey ho, it is what it is. But just how shite is that? Like, if you win the league on the Monday night, and then it's like you got to wait for the stadium trophy to go up, and then it's just like by that point you're going home, aren't you? Well, I'm not going home. I don't know. Well, no, I might have to go home because I've got to be in Bristol the next day. So
you'll be running to Bristol.
Absolutely, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to go to the last game personally. But if they get these games for the first round, right, I honestly think that's an absolute disgrace because
It's never happened before.
They're looking so the Crystal Palace game was due to be the. Am I right in saying the Crystal Palace game was due to be the last game before it was the penultimate game?
It was going to be the game before the last, right? Yeah, but obviously they're waiting to find out.
They want to switch it.
European,
but they want to switch it so they get Bournemouth on.
It's a joke, yes. In other words, they're hoping to have it. Yeah, so Palace will be playing it with an eye on.
I'm trying to work in my head, is it a gain? Is it not a gain?
Well, they shouldn't be allowed to change their games. This is going to be like France.
Well, I think they're concerned about it, right?
Well,
they have to play Bournemouth before an FA Cup final.
PSG allowed to change their game against
and they want to play Palace closer to Palace's European games because they won't be focused on the Premier League as such. They'll be more.
And they're going to be worried, right, that we're going to have Palace last game of the season.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But they've got Aston Villa, who potentially
have a Europa League final a couple of days after.
Now, mate, with Forest's form, by the way. Who have been outrageous the last few weeks.
Forest has gone a bit wobbly. Emery's gone a bit wobbly.
Yeah, exactly. But they've got that. Like, let's be honest, right? We're both in a situation last game where actually, if Unai Emery wins the Europa Cup, mate, they're going to be on the boat, and that really concerns me.
They could get battered. Yep.
I could see that slime ball costing us the title.
And Martinez, mate, trying to view in.
But I look at the Aston Villa and Palace game, and we're both in the same boat potentially. That actually, like, Palace ain't going to want to play against Arsenal 3 days before. All their mind's going to be on creating history. But like Palace first every year in Europe, and they win the Conference League. That's massive for them. Yeah. And I think it's going to happen. To be honest, I think they're going to win it because I think they deserve to win it because of what happened to them. But switching the fixtures around, I don't know. Is there a gain in it? Is there not a gain in it? I can see what you're saying. When would I rather they play? I personally, if I'm being totally honest here, I would rather they played Bournemouth after the FA Cup final. Right, and I'll tell you why that is the case. Because I actually think, that I always remember going to Leeds one year. Do you remember the second to last game? And we lost. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Yeah, 1-0. It was a Monday night.
Do you know what I mean? And
Nelson Vivas.
They don't want that game, second to last game, because that's a hard second to last game of the season. They want a gimme second to last game of the season. And looking at Palace to be the gimme.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the whole reason why they want to swap it. And Palace are probably entertaining it because actually it means that they don't have to play midweek. And do you know what? It doesn't sit well with me whatsoever. I don't understand why Arsenal Burnley's getting moved to Monday night either. Like, I'm scratching my head. And I'll tell you why I'm scratching my head, right? What is the fucking point? Like, you've got your team who are sitting first or second in the Premier League, and you're going to put them on a Monday night, and you're not going to put them on the 4:30 game on a Sunday. Man City ain't playing because they're in an FA Cup final. So what game are you actually playing on the 4:30, the main 4:30 game? Well, what game are you playing? Because for me, that would be all around the world. Do you know what I mean? That Arsenal Burnley game, because actually it could be head to head and all that. But Monday night, I'm just like, it doesn't make sense to me.
And I haven't thought about the Burnley fans at all.
Well, no, of course I haven't thought about the Burnley fans.
No.
But let's be honest, right? If you fall on a Monday night, they ain't going to think about any fans. You know, we're fortunate, I guess, because we're at home. But I just like, is it this big thing, right? That let's put them on an 8 o'clock game because actually we've seen them at 8 o'clock against Southampton and they fell to pieces in a season. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely something behind it all, right? But I just don't get how that's not the 4:30 on the Sunday game. If both clubs are still going for it, because actually it could be, right? If Man City didn't beat Brentford, for example, and then didn't beat Everton and took a loss and took something else, it could be the game that Arsenal win the title.
Yeah.
And you're playing on a fucking Monday night.
Right.
Also, why on earth is the FA Cup final being played before the end of the season?
Oh, it's a joke they do this. It's the same with the European the Europa League and the Conference League. Why are they playing in the league? They should all be at the end. It's just ridiculous. I know you got the World Cup and that, but they keep changing it. It's absolute bollocks.
But what is the reason? What is the reason why the Premier League can't finish? I guess the problem is, right, it's the whole reason why they can't do it, and I kind of get it now, right, is actually the problem is with teams like Man City and Chelsea are having to play their last games of the season literally the week after, before the penultimate game. So I think what it's doing is, right, it's giving the league another week just in case games get filtered. So I do kind of get the mentality why they've started having to do that. And I think that's going to be a common theme now. I just don't think the FA Cup final is going to be the last game of the season no more whatsoever.
Shocking.
What it all comes down to, right, is additional Champions League games, all the international games. Do you know what I mean? You've got the FA Cup games, the League Cup games. And I guess I can see what the Premier League are thinking. Actually, we put the FA Cup final the week before. We've still got that midweek to filter games that people are struggling to play.
Yeah.
I think the following week as well was the playoffs as well. Because that'd be the week after the Cup final, back on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does make sense. It does make sense. I just don't think you're going to see FA Cups as the last game of the season, like Palace last year, weren't it? They won the FA Cup, and I think they had to choose their game in the last game of the season. So I think it is what it is now. Like, unfortunately, money takes over, don't it? But I am really scratching my head while we're playing Monday night. I'm just like, it's just
nonsense
for a title running, right? And I'm thinking that game's got to be 4:30 because Man City are not playing. Like, I'd get it if Bournemouth playing Man City, that game would be 100% 4:30, and then potentially Arsenal would be the Monday night. But they're not playing.
But it's the circumstance, isn't it?
They're doing it on purpose.
I was going to come up that weekend as well.
Do you know what? it's probably I'll tell you what, it's probably a piece, right? That Man City have got to play 2 night games now, and they're thinking this makes it fair and put Arsenal as the night game in.
Yeah, to even it out.
It's all. I don't know, but it is what it is. Like, you're going to turn up to it if you got a ticket, because actually you got to do what you got to do, ain't you, to go to the game. And yeah, I just think we just need to see where us and Man City are at that point. Like, it can just change just like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, do I think there's many twists and turns? I don't think there's many. I really don't. I think both sides are both capable of winning all 5 games, but I do think that Man City having to go to Everton and Bournemouth are going to be tricky. They're going to be tricky. They're going to be tricky games to them. Like Everton next Monday night. Somebody's just telling me next Monday night is a massive night. And this is why Arsenal have to win at Fulham. And everyone needs to get out of their head at the moment. We've got to go and batter them 4-5-0. Because actually, if we beat Fulham 1-0 and then Man City draw with Everton, then we don't need to beat anyone by 5-6 goals. All we got to do is win games.
West Ham.
All we got to do is win football games then.
Yeah, I mean, David Lloyd, a cricket commentator, has always said that halfway for a cricket game, who do you think is going to win? He said, whichever team's got the scores on the board, they're the ones in the driving seat, because it's all down to the other team how to deal with the pressure. And that's it. Just win. Just win. It doesn't matter if it's going to be another horrendous watch. It is what it is. You know, Fulham are a funny side. They're just a really funny team, Fulham. They always have been. And we've always had funny results against them, home and away. You know.
Do you know, I think it's quite interesting.
Funny. Go on.
Seeing their last results.
They've only won 1 out of the last whatever, I think.
Yeah, the one before was 0-0 at Brentford.
The home form is good, but the away form is just,
No, what I was saying is, what has their results been at the Emirates?
They drew 2 the other year. When we there 10
Who won when we were there?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We don't naturally beat Fulham by many goals whatsoever. Either. They're a tough cookie. They're not an easy. Marco Silva has them drilled. Like, it's going to be a hard game of football. Like, it's going to be another nervous watch.
Yeah,
it's going to be horrible.
And this is my whole piece. Why I threw it out there. Like, do we slightly rotate on Wednesday? Do we slightly rotate?
I just don't know.
No. I can't call it at this point.
I just don't think he will Wednesday. I just think it's just a knock-on effect it could have if we lost.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
That's the way. I mean, I don't think we will. I mean, you never know, dear. They could be Atletico Madrid could be amazing. We could play really well, and they could just be pigging in worldies and win like 3-4-1 or something. And then we'll be saying, "Oh my god," you know, the players have got to pick themselves up again, and and the place will be nervy on Saturday because of that. Yeah.
Here
I
we
know we've got to
go.
embrace it, but it's just.
What's the United result anyway at the moment?
They were 2-0 up. I'll tell you what did make me laugh earlier. I just see a little clip, it come up on my phone, and they, I mean, this is ridiculous because, they asked Gary Neville, who do you think the player of the year is? And they said, oh, yeah, Bruno Fernandes has done well, Declan Rice and Bernardo Silva. And he goes, oh, yeah, they've all had great seasons. Oh, but if you ask me, Bruno. But it's just like,
shock.
It's just ridiculous. Honestly, absolutely ridiculous. But I think he's set up the second goal for Sesko, which means he's only one away from either equaling or beating the assist record. I mean, he's a mega player, but Man United, he stands out in that side because they are still very bang average.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's interesting, though, isn't it, with United? Like, I was talking to a United fan, a cabbie, the other night when I was obviously going from the train station to a party, and we were talking about like the players that they brought in and all that, and obviously they've spent money on certain players and all that. But when you look at Amorim, like he was playing a back three, like, and a top club shouldn't play back three whatsoever, should they? And like you said, like since they've gone back into a 4 and could put like freed up, their performance come better, and they're not nowhere near the finished article whatsoever. Like, do I think they're competing for a title next year? No, I don't. I think next year, I think you'll see more consistency because I think what will happen is like next year, I think the bigger teams will just get better.
Yeah.
The bigger
teams.
We don't
know who Man United's manager is going to be, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I feel Man United still have got a lot of players. Yeah, right. I think Carrick's maximised what he can out of that team. But I think you start giving them Europe next year, which they're going to have Champions League. It becomes a different ball game again because they're having to play every other game.
Mate, yeah.
And then they'll get the injuries again. Do you know what I mean? And then like you're relying on like a core of players, and they haven't got that massive bunch of players, mate. So
that's why there's a negative thing about Arsenal because they know, all the pundits know, if we win the league this year or the Champions League next year, or actually we win both, but how that's going to push everyone on because everyone's going, have they got what it takes to get over the line? But if we have the confidence in the players and the players can attract even more players want to come,
Tonali. You put Tonali in that team, mate. Yeah,
I really think, I can really see it.
You put Tonali in that team, right? Rotating in between him because that can support Declan Rice having time out. Do you know what I mean? That can support Submendi having time out. Do you know what I mean? That's another top notch player. Do you know what I mean? You have Mika Marino.
I'll take Bruno as well. I'll take them both. I mean,
well,
they're not going to be in Europe. They're not going to be in Europe.
Bruno, you take all day long, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter. Hello, mate.
Come to you, man.
Here we go.
Come and sit with us.
Right? Yeah, he's all right. Come and sit with us. I'll be out with you in a minute, yeah? Yeah, no, I'll take Bruno. Like, let's talk about him there. It keeps being like, talk about him. Like, do I like him? Not really, but like, do you know what I mean? If he was in your team, you'd absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Especially after his antics before when he went to Newcastle in the first place, he gave us a bit of shade, didn't he? So I was like, I don't want him.
You take them kind of players, though, don't you? Like when they're with you and all that, like and they're your shit houses, you take all them kind of players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if we get top quality players in, I don't care what they've done in the past. Do you know what I mean? Get them in because all it's going to do is make you a better team. And you get a left winger in next year, and you get another centre midfielder in, and you potentially get a right back in to compete with Timber. Because I think Ben will go in the summer. And then I think he will. Yeah. I think on that note, mate, we're doing the score predictions.
Yeah, that's that, mate. Bless him. Yeah, go ahead and sort him out. Right, so we're going the game 2-1. Oh, lovely if they scored again.
There's not long left now, though, is there?
No, hello. It was all going on here. Yeah, what are you pressing? Right, so let's start with Wednesday. I'll go first. I don't know why I said I'll go first, but I'll go 2-1 Arsenal. I think we'll score. I can see them scoring because I think they need to. But yeah, I think we'll win 2-1. G?
1-1.
Yeah,
I'll take 1 all day long.
Absolutely.
I really can't call Wednesday. I really can't call it. I think it could be anything. I think it could be anything Wednesday. I think it's that kind. I'm gonna go for 2-2. Because
So
you've got
2-1 to us, Catherine, or 2-1 to them? 2-1. Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, any positive result's a good result.
Yeah.
And then obviously looking forward to Saturday. Go on, G, I'll let you go first.
2-0.
Yeah, it's one of them. Oh, I'll be over the moon with 2-0. That'd been lovely.
I'm going to go 2-1. I've just looked at the results. Us and Fulham yet again, like Newcastle, they're low scoring games.
Yeah.
And we don't batter Fulham. I'm going to go 2-1.
I'm going to go 3-1 then. I was going to go 1-0 or 2-1, but
nice.
I can see it being another.
Give it a 4-1, mate. Go on, give it a 4-1. Just get
5-1.
I thought we were going to smash Newcastle. I didn't think we were going to win about 4 or 5-0 on Saturday, obviously.
You're the problem.
I know, it's always my fault. But
Every week.
I can see on Saturday being like Everton at home.
6-0.
But really nervy, level with a couple of minutes to go, and then we score 2 goals right at the end. I can see Victor coming off the bench and scoring 2 or something. Something like that. But yeah, any win will do. It doesn't really matter. But yeah. But yeah, 6-0 would be lovely, G. Imagine that. Give us a lead.
Should we do a Man City Everton prediction?
3-0 Everton.
That could be in the. Oh no, because
we'll
be live in that show.
I think 1-1. I've got 1-1 in my head.
Nah, I think Man City will beat them 1-0, but I do think Man City will beat. You don't know.
Night game, like their record actually ain't that great.
Everton,
Is it night games? I don't think that's the only problem. But I've got this feeling 1-1.
The thing is, Everton are such a funny team, aren't they?
Yeah,
they've got a good home. But then, they lost at home to Spurs. It was like 2-3-0 this year. So, yeah, I don't know. Just I'll draw anything to help us. But yeah,
please.
Anything. Yeah, I'm not expecting them to drop points, but I'll be fucking wonderful if it does happen.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing a show that Monday night. So if it does happen, there's a good chance that my clothes might come off. Stay tuned.
Well, next week.
Well to viewing.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, we'll be, mate. Yeah, you'll be going mad as well. Yeah. Oh, imagine, mate. Imagine they like, it's just the hope that kills you, and it's just what a tonight. Everyone thinks, we'll do this. Well, no one thought we'd lose to bloody Bournemouth, but it's just we do this.
It's a funny old game, mate.
It's a roller coaster.
It is, mate. Yeah.
Never give up.
You don't have to look at the York City Rochdale game the other day, mate. Absolutely
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Never give up.
Unbelievable scenes. Brilliant. But yeah, well, duty calls.
Yeah.
Daddy over there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, G, for coming on again.
Thank you. Pleasure as always.
Absolutely. And Liam, always a pleasure. Nice to be back after a few weeks off.
Yeah, mate. Glad you had a nice time, mate. Good. Glad you had a nice time.
Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah, it was nice. Very nice. 2 weeks eating and drinking. Bit of sunshine. No work. It was very nice, yeah. The only stress was watching Arsenal, funny enough.
I bet it was, mate. Yeah, that's what you don't want to do, mate.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is.
We go again.
Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all the lovely comments. So we go again. The big games keep coming thick and fast. And fingers crossed, Arsenal do all right. Thank you very much, everybody, and good night.
Good night.